Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this historic day, August the 31st, 2019. I'm Mark Paycheck. I'm the Managing Director of Genistar Limited, and I'd like to send best regards from Jeff Blatt, who's actually currently in Florence with his wife with a well-deserved vacation. So he's asked me to introduce you to this new system. So what can I say? This system's been in the works for the last year, and there's been so much work by so many people. I want to say a big thank you for Jeff for putting up the money to fund this system. It has cost millions. I want to say a big thank you to the field for their time and patience and effort in dealing with the old legacy system which got us to where we are. I want to say massive thank you to the EVPs who over the last couple of days have gone through 4 successful advanced level training sessions to be able to help you and assist you go through this new system. I'd like to give a very special thank you to the steering committee, and the steering committee from day one are built up from the SVPs, NSDs, and a couple of really top leaders in the company coming in and explaining to the IT department, this is what we need and this is how it works in the field. Those guys have been awesome. A massive thank you to the IT department. They have been working tirelessly to get this done, working weekends, working late nights. And also I want to thank the FSC IT support team who are in this weekend, who have a direct line of contact to your EVPs. So any problems that you're having that you passed your EVPs, they will be able to support you too. And finally, I want to say a massive thank you to the guy sitting next to me, not that the video camera's on, but Daniel Taylor. He's really the project manager on this, and he's been the person relaying what the field want from the IT steering committee to the IT department. This guy has been with us a year now. He's also a rep in the field, so he has a great perspective, but he has really come on leaps and bounds since he's joined us, and he's going to be heading up this training today, and he wants to put it in your language, keep it as simple as possible. And I just want to say thank you, Daniel, for everything you do. We really appreciate you, and good luck for the training.
Thanks very much, Mark. I'm really looking forward to training you guys today. It's been a lot of testing, it's been a lot of refining, but I am glad to be able to go through this with so many of you today. So we've got over 150 people on the call, which is fantastic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through step by step from how to get onto the website all the way through to the end of a carryback, to the end of an IBA, so that you all have all the information that you need. If there are any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. I will periodically answer them when it's convenient. We are going to record this call to send out and put on the training site so you can refer back to it any time, along with the training videos that have already been created. So we'll start. I'll just share my screen with you all and we'll be able to get going. So the website from Monday is going to be genistar.online. That is how you will log in. It's the same URL as your commission statements. But for now, we're going to be going to Genistar's test site. So I'll just load this slightly. And that is uat-app.genistar.online. Please use the browser bar at the top. Don't use the search bar in the middle of the page, because that won't take you to the test site. From there, you then have a blank screen. The real site has more information on it, but for now you have a blank screen. Top right, it's register and sign in. If you haven't registered on the test site before, you will need to do that. And to do that, you just click sign up now, you put your email address in here, send the verification code, and from there you will get an email. It normally happens within a few seconds, and it will look something like this. You're going to take this code here and you're going to copy and paste it into the box that appears. I've already registered the accounts for the purpose of the training, but you'll put that code in, you'll hit verify, put in a password. Just bear in mind that it has to fulfill all these requirements to make it as secure as possible for you. And then you hit create, and that will create your account on the test site. If you've already logged into commissions before, then you won't need to go through that process on the live site. You'll already be set up. and you have to be using the email address that was on the old system that we switched off yesterday. So sign in, and then I'm just going to take you through the rep home screen and how to navigate around the site, and also explain why some of the things aren't quite doing anything different apparently at the moment. So to get to your rep home, you can press My Home or Organisation at any point, and it will take you to this screen here. It will have your EVP, it will have whoever recruited you into the business, it will have their phone number should you need it. Your G code is up here, so you can see that there. That's not how many recruits you have. That would be impressive though. And then your email address is always what you use to sign into the system. So there's no more usernames anymore to remember. It's going to be whatever email address you signed up with. Of course, once you hit team leader and you can request a Genistar specific email address, we would then be able to change that for you on our end. So along the top here, we've got organisation. Organisation will be a place eventually that you can see all of your downline. You can see different management information sections for your team, promotion statuses, that kind of thing. For now, it just takes you to the home screen because we wanted to get the system launched to you so you can get right in business, recruiting people, so on. Statement, this is your commission statements. So as per you currently have, it's the commission statements. Don't worry if it's not accurate on the test site. It's still accurate on the live site. It's just the data doesn't get updated as frequently. So this is your commission statement. You can go through all of that there. Approvals, once you get to EVP level, IBA approvals, that kind of thing will come in there. So you'll be able to, so your EVP will be able to approve the IBAs, approve the business that's submitted, so on and so forth. And on the left-hand side, you've got your recruits tab. So this is where all your recruits will appear. Here's some that have been made from previous training sessions. And this is where you would go to edit IBAs if they've not been submitted, or if your recruit decides that they'll become a client, they want an FGP doing as part of their training, you just hit this button here to create them as a client so that they can go through their paperless journey, go through their Scoop and Carryback. You would hit that button just there. You can search any section by email, phone number, first name, last name. You can do that in all the contact parts, so recruits, client contacts and representatives. Again, client contacts here. I'll go into more detail, but much of the same. We've got on the far right, they're working on a scroll bug. So there are a couple of bugs still floating around that we're working out the kinks on, but we will get through them. So if your client wants to join the business, you then just hit invite recruit here, and then that will invite them. Or if you want your client to be able to view their FGP after the carryback, you can just press client account invite there. Just take a quick look at some questions. Yeah, the sound is fine for most, so we're going to keep going. So that's logging in, navigating the site. What I'm now going to do is take you to the certification exam. So as you can see, I've already done mine. It's passed, so it's unlocked, and it expires in 1 year's time. You can take it any time after the day you pass it. If you love taking exams, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you only need to do it once a year. It's slightly longer than the original certification exam. The affiliate exam is gone, the wills and trust exam, the optimizer exam, they're all gone. It's all been merged into one certification exam. The training material for this exam, you can find it on the Genistar members page. Steve Overidge uploaded everything there. You can find the premiere video on the Genistar training site. That is just genistar.training, and then you can get your password from your upline. And the EVPs can also send out the study material for the exam should you need it. We are building in a study section down below where it will all eventually be. But again, to get the system out to you guys to start using it, those are the channels to get the study material initially for people that need to take the exam. So the exam itself, all your modules are down on the left-hand side here. You can do any module in any order that you want. And you can start a module, say if the doorbell rings, baby starts crying, you have to rush off or take a phone call, you can just go down to the bottom and save it at any point. That will tell you it's saved. All the notifications for this website will appear in the top right. And you're able to then go out, log back in, and you will see there that your results are still saved and how many questions are left to complete within that section. Once you've completed a section, you just save and continue. The questions are randomized. So when you've passed a section, you get a little tick here. And then you move on to the next one, or whichever one you want. You can start with the sections you feel most comfortable with and go through all of those, then go to the ones you're a little more unsure of. Or you can do it in order, it's totally up to you. But as soon as you save one section, it will automatically drop down to the next one. If you fail a section, I'll show you what's going to happen. Essentially, it's going to kick you out to the main, your home screen again. Hopefully I've got most of them wrong here. There we go. So it's told me I've failed. So it means I need to restudy for that section. And you can do a module 3 times. So you can fail 3 times on this exam before it will lock the exam down. If the exam gets locked, you just need to speak to your upline or EVP or office manager, and they will be able to get it unlocked for you once you've proven that you've studied for it again and you're ready to take it again, and then it will be unlocked again. But you have 3 attempts to take it, and saving it won't fail you or anything like that. So once you completed it and you passed it, it will just say you passed and it expires in 12 months or however long. It will tell you months, weeks, days, etc. And you've got your Scoop and Carryback assessment. Now, you guys aren't able to access these unless you're a skills coach or primary assessor. They're just all part of your training, and your EVPs and the skills coach and primary assessors will complete these for you once you've done your assessments. And then you will see them as unlocked and when they expire once the person has done that for you. And if you are in the representatives tab, you will be able to click on any one of these and show where your team's training is at and what is expired. So that's something you can do as well. Don't know why this pink line is on my screen. Sorry about that. So that's all the training. That's the exam, the assessments, logging in. And what we will go through now is the recruiting process. I'll just take a quick look at the messages briefly. The exams are unlocked. Tunji, they will be unlocked. There'll be a button for the skills coach and primary assessors and EVPs to unlock them for agents. Okay, so next we're going to go through the sign up and IBA process for a new recruit. So there's 2 ways to do this. You can either invite a new recruit here. Now, this is going to bring up the G code of the recruiter. It's very important to get this G code correct, because as soon as you send this invite, that creates the hierarchy for this recruit. So if it's for yourself, which is the default G code in there, then it will do that. If it needs to be someone else, say you're recruiting for one of your team and you need to put the person that you've just interviewed on that team, that person's team, then you can change that and you just type in their G code number there and the name will appear of that person. The reason we're not doing it by name is because there's many people in the business with the same name and we don't want them going under the wrong hierarchy or wrong base shot. So we'll keep this one to me. And all you do to invite someone is fill out their first name and their last name. If they have a long first legal name, for example, and they want to be known by another name, or they have a nickname they prefer, you can fill that in there, but it is optional, you don't need to do that. And then you're just going to fill in their email address. You're going to confirm it, and then you're going to fill in their phone number. And then you're going to hit send. What it's going to do is that's going to send an email invite to them. And from there, you are able to, I'll show you what that will look like. So on the test site, you won't get any of these emails. That's because people are using a lot of test information. We don't want emails accidentally going to real people that aren't anything to do with us. So it all comes in. When it goes live, you'll start getting these emails. So this is the email you're going to get. You've been invited to Genestar Online. Oh gosh, what is happening to this screen? And then you just need to hit finish account setup. Why have I got a green line appearing here? 1 second. No idea what's happening with that green line. Sorry about this. I'm just going to stop the screen share and reshare and see if that fixes it. So, sorry, give me 1 moment. Ah, I have an eraser option. Oh, interesting. I mean, I'm not drawing anything, but okay. Thanks, Alan Palmer. No idea I could do that. That's handy. Wonderful. So anyway, back to it. So what you're then going to do is you've sent the invite to your recruit. You're then going to ask them to do the sign up now process. And if they use the email and click sign up now or finish account setup, it's going to take them to the login page. Or they can just go straight to the login page themselves. They don't actually need to wait for the email. You can do either or. And then I've already set this one up, so I'm just going to sign in. And it's going to take me straight to the IBA page. There we are. So left-hand side, you've got all the sections of the IBA application form. It has locked down the first name, last name, email, and phone number. You cannot change those. It's very important you get that right to start with, because everything is identified by those things, the hierarchy, commissions, everything. So you need to make sure they're right. And then you're going to just fill out the rest of the application. So I'm going to go through that with you now. Date of birth, you can either type it in like so, or you can go through here and you can pick the decade. You can scroll through, real simple, pick the month and pick the day of the month. Real easy. Gender, NI number, it's optional, you don't have to do it, but you can do it if the client's happy, if the recruit is happy to. And then we just need their nationality. We have UK at the top, and then the rest is all in alphabetical order. And you just click next. And then you can go through to the address. We have postcode lookup, which you'll be pleased about. That'll save you some time. You just hit search, and it populates it for you. However, if you're on a new development, for example, set a new build housing or somewhere really obscure and you can't find your postcode in the lookup, you are able to just type this into the fields here. As long as there's house number, line 1 of the address and the postcode, you'll still be able to proceed by typing those in. Next, we've got employment. If they're unemployed, just go no and hit next. If they are employed, we need more information. So your job title. If you work for a regulated company, name of the employer, how long you've been with the employer, and again, the employer's address and employer's phone number are optional. You don't need to fill those in, but you can do. If the recruit's maybe nervous that you're going to contact the employer to tell them they've got a new job or something like that, you can leave that blank, and a brief description of what their role is. Next is the fitness and proprietary. So it's important that they read all of this and they read every statement. It's defaulted to yes. So read through. If it's applicable, fill in the details. If not, you click no. We'll just do a clean application for now. In the test environment, all IBAs will default to go to compliance, and my team will be approving that today, tomorrow, so on and so forth. But then you just click next once that's done. Then we've got identification. So it's important to note here, everything that I have just done, you as the recruiter can do for the recruit whilst you're with them, logged into your account. However, identification and payment has to be done by the recruit themselves. The recruiter cannot fill in these next two sections, but you can help the recruit fill in 1 to 4 down the side here. So if they're a bit unsure or haven't logged in yet, or for whatever reason, you can fill those bits in and save it. But the next bits, identification and payment, you have to do. Identification, real easy. There's no passport, that's fine. No ID card, also fine. Driver's license, visa. If you don't have a visa, you then need to upload the birth certificate and proof of address. To keep things simple for now, we're just going to go with the passport. Pick your country it's issued from, and then you're just going to upload. What you can do is you can drag and drop into here, or you can do select file and go to your folders, and then that's uploaded right there for you. So real quick, real easy, real simple, and it will tell you on the top right when it's uploaded successfully. Then it's going to take you to your summary page. It's very important that Recruit checks this themselves. Make sure all the information is accurate and correct. Make sure they've answered all the questions correctly. Make sure the ID is right. We don't want blurry images. We don't want like half a hand in it. We don't want, we want clean, clear images, please, when that's done. And then they're going to hit submit as the recruit, and it's going to take you through to the payment screen. So we're with a new payment provider now, so it should make this process very simple. And all you have to do is put in the card number, the month and year of expiry, the security code and the postcode. So we have a test account that people are using. You can get that from your EVP if you want to go through the full process, and you just put in the information and then hit pay. And that's done. Your IBA has been submitted, you've paid for it, it's gone through, and your ID is waiting with the summary with your EVP. So what happens now is the recruit will only be able to see their summary until it's approved, but it will say the application fee has been paid successfully and the application is pending with your recruiter's supervision. So that's just your EVP. If the EVP approves it, this would then change to say compliance if it's gone to compliance, or if the EVP approves it and all the background checks have been done successfully and nothing's flagged up, then they'll be able to log in and start their training. If retired, do we say no to employed, even if the company pension? Yes. Yes, you do. Thank you. Can we not send the recruit the link and they complete the audit? No, Martins, you cannot do that. But there is another way, as Steve said. Our site security has the highest level of encryption and security that you can get, so you don't need to worry about that. And all of the information is stored securely in the cloud servers, so you don't need to worry about that. That's all fine. When you uploaded previously onto the back office, it was also stored there. Stuff's coming up again on the screen. Who's doing that? Anyway, so that's the first way to do an IBA. The other way, say you're at the group interview or someone else has done the interview, or you're recruiting at distance, say you're in London and you're recruiting someone in Liverpool. What you're then able to do is from Monday morning at 10:30, you can just say, hey, if you want to join, that's great. If you just head to genistar.online and click sign up now, you will be able to sign up there as a new recruit. So again, email, verify it, create the account. They'll be able to then go and log in. When they log in, they're going to be taken to an anonymous IBA page, which is this one here. So they are registering to sign up into the business. So if the EVP doing the group interview is explaining, you can sign up now. The one bit of information extra that you'll need to tell your prospective recruit is your G code for them to sign up to. So you need to put a valid G code in here. The recruit will need to know that before they go to sign up, and then that will apply them to you. So they can literally go to the website and sign up without you sending the invite new recruit link. It's called the anonymous sign up process. And once I've filled in that information, because they've already created the account with the email, they don't need that again. So it's phone number, name, and the G code. And if they know by another name, they can do that as well. But once you've done that, hit send, then what that's going to do is link them to your hierarchy, finalize their account, and take you through to the IBA registration page. This is exactly the same as what I've just gone through, so don't worry, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but that is the way for someone to sign up in place of the links that we used to send, and so on and so forth. And it's really useful for group interviews. They can do it there in the room on their phone if they want to. So that is everything relating to IBAs, signing up, applications, training. What I'm going to move on to next will be the paperless side of stuff. So everything involved in a scoop and a carryback. So I'm going to pause to see if there's any questions. Okay, thanks, Steve. Ivan, what about the part only we can complete? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you could elaborate. You missed how to set up the first. So the first way to set up is invite new recruit, which is on your left-hand side. The second way is going to genistar.online. Again, once they do the anonymous sign up, as soon as they're linked to your account, they will appear in your recruits tab. So if they do sign up anonymously and they get stuck, you can just go in here and edit their IBA. So they've already appeared there for me. That's the latest one I've done. So you can go in and then edit from there. It starts with their summary, but you can go through and help them with that if you need to, so they get stuck. Cool. So that is everything IBA and recruiting related. So this is going to make it a lot easier than the current application, which is very exciting. It's going to speed up the process a lot. And the new certification and training is very good. There's no more uploading different things and having delays there. Bank details for commissions, that will be an enhancement that comes, and they can, they'll be able to upload directly there. For now, the team at the FSC, the compliance department, will be requesting the bank details when they need to be requested. So that happens once they've actually earned some money within the business. So it will be something that as soon as you signed up, you'll be able to upload your statements. So that's fine. Thanks, Steve-O, for answering the rest of those. Appreciate it. Cool. So moving on to create new client contact. So this is how you register a client on your system. We'll keep it imaginative. And all you need is their email and their mobile number. You can do this at the Scoop, or you can do this prior to it if you have the information, but there's no pressure to do that beforehand. It could be a bit weird when you're asking a third-party referral, who can I have your email, phone number before I come over? So you can do this in the room with them. Tablet, we've tested on iPad, we've tested on other tablets, laptops. You can do this process on all of them. You can do it on mobile phone. I wouldn't recommend going through the whole process on a mobile phone for the Scoop and Carryback. It's quite small, but we can do that. So that person's been invited. It turned up in the top right. Sorry, I need to... Ben, can you just figure out a way to turn off annotating for everyone, please? Cool, so go to client contacts and they appear here. So all you're going to do is click on the first name or the last name, doesn't matter which one, and that's going to take you to the paperless journey. So again, it's got your details up here. When they log in, once you've completed a carryback, they'll be able to log in to view their FGP only, and it will have your contact information. So if they need to get in touch with you, they can do that. The red box here shows you what you need to do to proceed through the process, but you can click to any part and open it once it's unlocked. So you can do that on that side as well. Again, all the sections down the left-hand side, but we start with goals and dreams. You have to put a minimum of 1 goal in. You won't be able to proceed without that. So you do need to have a minimum of 1. But if your presentation introduction script has gone really well, that shouldn't be a problem. You'd have already spoken about that. However, if the client is adamant they don't have any goals, you could just type none, amount needed as 1, amount saved, and you could put this month in and don't fund it with life cover. So you can do that, should you need to. But we're not going to do that. We're going to say we want a holiday, and it's going to cost 10,000, we've got nothing saved, and we want that in a year. But we don't want to fund it with life cover. And again, maybe our kid needs to go to university, and we're going to need maybe 60,000 for that. So we've got £20,000 saved, and we're going to need that by September 2028. Fund it with life cover, yes or no. That will just mean it's included within the dime. And then you click save, and then it will tick there to say fund it with life cover. You can only put a maximum of 3 goals at the moment, which I know is an issue when you see clients and they maybe have 4 children that are all different ages going to university. An enhancement is going to be built in where you can add more than 3 goals, but for now there's just 3 there. And you have an additional notes section for any of the notes that the client gives you on that as well. There's a notes section in every section as you go through. Then we're on to retirement. So once you completed your goals, you've got retirement age. It's defaulted to 68, as that is the standard retirement age at the moment, but you can change this to whichever age the client would like to retire, along with the retirement income needed. So that's all there. Then you just click next. Now it's going to ask you for some more details that you haven't had yet. So client's title, gender, best time to contact, their occupation, and their employer. Again, any additional notes. Maybe they've got a second job, you'd want to write that in there. Partner. So if you have a partner, you just click yes. For the sake of time, I'm not going to add a partner in as well to this application. We're just going to go with the client for now. If you don't have a partner, then again, just next. Your address. So real easy again. You can just type that in, or you can fill it in here. Any notes on that one? Dependents. So if you've got any kids, the blue button in the top right is the one on all the sections where you're adding data in, where there's multiple bits of data to add. So we might have Genestar child. And let's go, they were born in 2010, so they'd need the uni money by 2028. then we're going next. Then we're on the assets section. So assets could have personal residence, however much that's valued at. Do you want to use this for needs after death? Yes or no? And let's go with, they have some home contents as well. It's about 10,000. And let's go with that they had a car as well. Cool, you can edit or delete any of these at any point. That's not a problem. Property investment assets, much is the same. So again, it will pop out on this side, postcode. If you don't know the address of the investment asset, that's absolutely fine. You don't need one to proceed. Say if you have a wonderful property portfolio, you could just write property 10 or something, if that's how you know it by. And then you just need the market value, your net income on that. So that's after all the bills, insurance, mortgage, everything else, what you make net on that, and then your current mortgage balance. If you want to cover it with insurance, and if you want it for retirement. So this will put it in the dime, put the mortgage bit in the dime. This will mean that it will counter. So we've said we want £2,000 a month to live on once we retire at the age of 60. However, if you make £2,000 a month profit on this rental property and you do use for retirement, it's going to show you that you don't need to save any money towards retirement if you're planning on using it for that. So you've got that option there. Then we've got the income and outgoings. So if we've got the income here, if you have a mortgage, you want to leave rent as 0, and the site will allow you to do that. If you have a mortgage and you don't pay any rent, then you can leave that as 0, it's not a problem. You've got council tax, utilities, transport, food, clothing, and other. And again, you just fill in one of those. You can write what the other is if you wish. Then we're on to savings and investments. So we said we had £20,000 saved towards the university for the child. So you can do that. You can put how much you put in it per month and what it is. And you can, again, add a bunch of those in there if you need to. Mortgage. So this is where you enter your mortgage information. If you want to refer them to Genistar mortgages, as we currently do, it's still a paper form for now. But eventually, when you tick yes, it will automatically send a referral to our wonderful mortgage department, and they will start work on that straight away. So that will be an automatic referral that we build in over time. The same will happen for builders and contents and wills and trusts. Soon it will be all automatic. At the moment, for builders and contents, you just call the hotline and the hot desk, and you just do that way. Wills and trusts, that all needs to go through your EVP, and then they'll send that into the FSC here, and we will be able to communicate those referrals through. And mortgages, as I said, same process, paper form, goes to the EVP or office manager. But for the mortgage, you have the interest only or repayment, the current lender, the start date, and the end date. The original loan amount and the current balance. Discount interest rate and expiry date are optional, so you don't have to put those in. And then you've got your standard interest rate, your monthly payment, and again, extra amount you can leave as blank or you can put that in as well. So everything with a red asterisk has to be completed for you to proceed. Anything that doesn't have it is totally optional. So debts. Again, top right, you can add that. So we've got a personal loan for 5,000, minimum payment, again, optional, actual payment and interest rate are necessary along with the end date. I am aware that there's no end date on revolving debt, such as a credit card. For this, you could ask when the client would like it to be paid off. We do need an end date in so we can calculate the amount in the FGP. So we're going to do that for now. And if you want it paid off in the event of death, and then you just add that in. I'm going to add another one in just for the sake of the FGP and the debt stacking. So Again, got a car loan here, so it's on PCP. It's a really expensive car. And we want to pay that off if we die as well. So there are your debts. You can have more than two. Current life cover. So reasons for having no cover, you would need to click one of these to proceed if they don't have any life cover. And again, you can put notes in. Otherwise, you can add life cover in here. You can select it for the client, the partner, or both. What type of cover it is, the amount they're covered for, and the premium they're paying. Then you've got their end date for their cover, and then you just add that in there. So that all shows there. Don't worry too much about how the end date includes the time. It's all part of the cleanup that the guys are currently working on as we speak. Then you're through to protection needs, which is the dime, and you still use your dime script for this because it's important that you go through that, Mr. and Mrs. Client, if one of you was to pass away, da, da, da. So all of that is still relevant. And to do that, instead of writing it in on a paper fact find, you would then just tick yes for the mortgage, yes or no for the debt, monthly income, yes or no. You put that in. Funded goals, so we still need 40,000 for university. Extras, legacy and funeral. You need to fill a figure in for that if you click yes. So you would do that there. And then you'll see the total needed and the shortfall isn't currently populated. This is because we still want the client to add it up. If they're with their calculator, they're adding it up together so they can see the actual amount. And then to check it, instead of you adding it up, you then hit calculate and it shows you the total amount of protection needed for this person. And then you would also go through to serious illness cover. So are you interested in serious illness cover? Yes, fantastic. Would you like it to cover 6 months of your net income, 12 months, 24 months, or maximum amount within my budget that I can afford? So you can pick one of those and they have to give a reason why. And then, do you have a will? Again, if you want me to refer you, that'll be an automatic referral eventually, but for now, send it through to your EVP. And then this is a duplicate question that we will be removing, but you can just tick yes if they tick yes up here. That will be going. And then you're onto your priorities. So you don't number them anymore, you drag and drop. So this bit, you could hand the laptop or tablet over to the client, and you can just drag whichever one is more important to them, and the same will appear for the partner on this side, so it'll be split. So you can do that at any point, which is quite nice and interactive, gets them involved a bit. Then you're in the final part of fact find. So are you fit and healthy? Yes or no? You want any medication? Have you ever smoked? It will ask you questions there. Budget. In addition to what you are spending right now, how much money each month could you comfortably set aside to help you reach your goals? So you can put that in. And then confirmation, introduce me to 10 families who ought to hear about us. Again, yes or no for that, and any notes you want to take down. So if they are on medication, you could put that in there. Some of you work out the BMI of the client while they're there just to get a feel for the quotes. And if their BMI is going to be over or under, anything like that. And then you click next. What you're taken to then is a summary. It's important that the client looks through this and checks all the data is correct. We make sure nothing important is missing, make sure the interest rates aren't way out of whack, make sure everything's accurate in what they've said. And you go all the way through that and it will show. Some of it displays a bit funny, like the serious illness cover. They are working on that, don't worry too much. And then you go through all of that. And then you've got the terms and agreement. So they can read that, but it will be emailed to them. once you have hit submit, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to submit? Because when you submit, it locks down the fact find. Now, one of the enhancements we're bringing in is that you'll be able to review the fact find and re-edit information when you go back on the carryback. But for now, you want to make sure as much of the information is correct as possible. I know clients sometimes phone and go, oh, I forgot about this interest rate on this debt here is different, etc., etc. That will be an enhancement that comes within like a few days, a week's time. But for now, when you submit it, it locks the information in, and that is done. So what happens now is that will trigger an email to the client, and it will ask them to read the terms agreement and then click that they agree, and then that will unlock the next section of the paperless journey. So I will just go through, I'm guessing Steve's answered everything. Steve, have you answered all the questions? You just type in, that'd be really handy. Cool, thank you. I will go back at the end and review it, but just for the sake of getting through everything. Cool, so I will take you to the email to have a look at that. Some people are testing the system. So that's the account set up. Okay, we'll wait for the approval email to come through. It's not there at this moment. Here we go. So it's hello, to continue your journey to financial freedom with Genestar, we would like you to review the following statements. Once you've reviewed the statements, please click the button below to tell us you agree. And you can do this while you're there. You can say, hey, do you want to just get your phone out and check your email? Or you can pull your laptop out, or even log in on your computer to their email if they're happy to do that. Read through, because it does come through, as you saw, within seconds. They can also view our privacy policy, and they can see the terms and conditions. And then they just click I agree. That will then take them through to a web page. It is blank at the moment. They're building in like a thank you for that. But for now, you can just say, hey, let's just going to open a web page just to unlock the rest of the process for when I come back and see you. So nice and easy. So when I go back in now, it's going to allow me to unlock, go through the rest of the system. So ABCs, FGP, that kind of thing. So now we're on the financial game plan. So here's the new look for the game plan. It's interactive. It's great. It's such an improvement on what we've been using in the past. So I'm really excited to bring this to you. It will have the client's first name and surname up here already built in. It will have the person who wrote the fact find. So you as the representative will be able to. It will say that there. You can print the FGP. So one thing about printing the FGP is you have to use that print my FGP button. What that's going to do is it's going to format the financial game plan and all its interactive parts into a paper-based version. So as you can see here, it's all spread out really nicely, but some of those sections are interactive that I'll run through in a moment, and it will give you all the information there. It's really important that you don't hit the print button here or hit Control P or Command P, because if you do that, I'll just bring it up now and show you, it doesn't display well, and it's not going to print out, and it's going to look a bit silly when you go back. So it's got no descriptions there, starts halfway down the page, stuff like that. So really important that you use the Print My FGP button, which is on the very front page. So first up, we've got building your financial house. So you go through each section and it brings up a description with a paragraph. So the foundations all the way through to the top floor. So you can run through that with them. Then you've got each of your sections that you can click on here. So first up, we've got the client's financial position. So it's got the income, it's got the outgoings as a total, and your net income will be displayed here. It's just one of the bugs. I think the text is like white in here. They're going to fix that. And then you've got the income here. If it's client and partner, it will be split in the relative proportion. And then you've got your outgoings listed largest to smallest. Then you've got your net worth. So this will explain to the client the net worth of them. It's got their assets, it's got their liabilities, and then it's got your total net worth built in here. And then it also shows it as a, well, it's actually called a donut chart because there's a hole in the middle instead of a pie chart, but it shows you the percentage here. It's quite cool. Then you can go down, and when you're explaining the overall net worth, you can explain that you want to increase your assets and reduce your liabilities. So that's got all the information there. You can just scroll through, or you can click these to go to the sections. It's totally up to you. Retirement. So if you need £2,000 a month at the age of 60, that's calculated wrong. Oh dear, what's happened? I've put something wrong in. Don't worry, I'll get the IT guys to look at that. But it'll show you how much you need to invest at which percentage, the same as the current FGP, and the ages of retirement. I don't know what I did there, but I've done something. But there'll be an update on that. Then we've got the mortgage. So you've got your monthly payment. If you can pay extra, it's then going to bring up a graph and show you the amounts as you put the cursor over it. You can change your interest rate. You can change the rate of repayment. So you can do that. You've got current payments and then what you're proposing with these options. However, if you could work part-time, 6 to 8 hours a week, making £500 to £1,000 a month with Genistar, would that interest you? You can now use that as a recruiting tool for paying your mortgage off quicker. So you've got your current payments, you've got your proposed payments, and then if you've got Genistar income, what you can do there. And you have 3 options for that. And then it will show you your savings, your payoff date, etc. for that. Debt stacking. So the purple shows you without stacking. It just shows you how long it's going to take them to pay their debt off. Then you've got the what's this one? Your current contributions. So that's this slider here. With stacking, so red is if you stack your debt, how quickly you can pay it off. And then green is the extra money, extra contributions you can put towards it. And then if you've got a Genistar income again, it then shows you with the blue. Then you've got the totals here, all totaled up for you, shows you your savings, payoff date, etc. This also includes the mortgage, and then you've got your table. So you've got smallest debt to largest debt. Then you've got the monthly payments plus the additional payments and so on and so forth, the stack that goes down with the interest saving there. Then we've got the goals and dreams. So they're listed one by one, you click it to get it and it saves your information. So you can do that. Again, Genistar income, well, why don't you come and work with us for a few years and see what you can do? And you can show that and it shows all the information there. So as I said earlier with the print my FGP button, before you hit that button, you want to set these parameters before you do it. Because as you set it, it will then translate that into the print version. However, if you leave it all blank, it's not going to do anything other than show you what the current situation is. So you want to make sure you're adding the little bit extras that they can put towards it each month, or a Genistar income example if you want to use it as a recruiting tool, as well as part of the education. And then we've got the protection needed. So that will show you if it's client and partner, it'll be client and partner here. Then you've got the total needed. If you're doing a lump sum income as well, it will show you that there. If it's different, minus your existing protection, it will show you the shortfall here, and so on and so forth. So that's your protection needs that you'd go through with the client. And that is the financial game plan. So I will... Fabulous, thank you. Yeah, when they log into their own online FGP, they'll be able to play with the sliders themselves, which is cool, so they can work out, oh, well, what if I did go and work with Genistar? Couldn't see the original debt payoff date and interest paid. So that was the top line. So let me just see if I explained it properly. So say we take this to 0 and leave this blank for now. So purple is the original, red is the stacked, and then green is if you contribute extra on this slider here. So that's how that works. So without stacking, you're going to pay it off 2045 and save 0, and you're going to pay this much. With stacking, you're going to save this much, which is also displayed down here. So that's how that one works there. More diversity in the images. Yes, that's something we can build in. Yes. Yeah, that's all stuff that's already been raised, so that's fine. Cool. Okie doke. So that's the FGP. What I'm going to show you now is then going into your quote entry. But before I do that, I want to just run you through the AMRA. I know it's a bit out of sync, but at the moment, not all GPs and health centres accept electronic AMRAs. So what we have to do still is paper-based AMRA. So now we said paperless. It's mainly paperless. It's just the AMRA and the IDD that remain as paper. So you still need a paper IDD on the Scoop. It's very important that we do that. And then the AMRA, you can download it here, and that'll just drop it in here into your downloads folder or wherever it goes. So you can do that and print it before you go on the carryback. And then when you're on the carryback, once you've completed the DCF, you'll be able to upload the AMRA here. So that's, you can just upload there and then hit submit once it's done. And there'll be one for client, one for partner. And then you can also re-upload it if there's a problem at the, once it gets to the FSC, if the date of birth is wrong or something like that, then you can also re-upload it there. So that is one paper thing we need to do along with the IDD. So moving on next, we've got protection options. This will look slightly different once we get into the actual launch on the live site, because the way that the ABCs currently show isn't ideal for the field. It was something we raised at the beginning of last week, so the IT guys have been redesigning that. But this is one of the areas that's going to have the biggest amount of change and enhancement, which is great. So quote entry. So you've gone onto your Advisor Hub. You've created your quotes, you're putting your ABCs together now. One change to what you do on the Advisor Hub, and most of you probably already do it, but for those that don't, you will need to save every quote you do, which if you're doing a client and a partner and optimizer options, you will need to save 12 SOPs total. The reason for this is, firstly, if you put together some options and don't save the quote, and between your carryback and submitting it to the FSC or your EVP, Vitality does a rate change, the price of that same information, that same quote that you didn't save, could go up. So because you haven't saved it as the rep, the client is then going to be charged more money potentially. So to mitigate that risk, you need to be saving your quotes when you create them and put them on the ABC. Otherwise, it's going to be a very awkward conversation going back to the client and going, hey, I know I told you this much, but it's gone up. So we want to make sure we're saving that. The second reason is you now need to enter a separate quote number for every option you put together. So you need to make sure you've got a different quote number every time you add an option. What eventually is going to happen is when you type a quote number in the box I've just done, what that will do is link into the Vitality Advisor Hub and pull that quote straight into our system from their system, which is a fantastic enhancement. It's going to save loads of time. And then all you do is type a quote number, it'll bring up the expiry date, and then we just put our comments in that we normally put in the event of death, mortgage paid, and sick for 6 months income, or whatever it is that you write in there. So you can do that, but for now we have to add each individual benefit type. So it's a little long-winded, we are aware, but the integration is coming before the end of the year. And we're going to be able to you literally type the quote number, put your comments in, and done. The options added in there. But for now, you pick the benefit types, you pick the cover amount for that benefit, the monthly premium for that, if it's indexed, if it's guaranteed, and the cover term type. So if it's annual, most of them are annual, but like Vitality Plus is annually renewable. So you're basically transposing what is on the SOP into this quote entry page. It's important that you include everything because it also puts it to the client, everything that they've got. So you need to, things like protected life and sick, serious illness cover, booster, if it's dementia and frail care, you need to add all of these. There's even a couple missing that we've had to put in, which we are adding in today and tomorrow, and then index guaranteed, so on and so forth. And then you're just adding that in there. So that's how you add the quotes. If you have a partner, this whole section here, selected benefits with the plus, will appear below, and it will be the partner ones. So you need to make sure you add the correct ones. The expiry date is defaulted to a month after you enter it. So as soon as you create a quote, it does that day. 1 month later is the expiry, because all SOPs have a 1 month expiry. But you can change that as well, again, using this or typing it in. So when you're done, you click finished. And then that will bring up this here. I'm not going to fill in all the quotes. It's all the same. What we do have is a create optimizer version. So what that does is that will duplicate your quote. You will then go in, edit the monthly premium as per the SOP, because it displays the individual premiums. So you're essentially just transcribing what's in there for each of those. So you make sure that that lines up with the new SOP. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to update that. And that validation that just came up there to stop me proceeding will come up every time you're missing something. So it reduces the typos and admin errors that we normally have to send file checks back for. So overall business will go through quicker. You change the quote number, and then you need to add the optimizer benefit. So whether they've got optimizer with plus or optimizer with Vitality Light, you need to add one of those. Obviously there's no cover amount for that. You just put in the cost of it, if it's indexed, guaranteed. That one's annually renewable, so you don't need years for that. One of the only ones that is annually renewable is the Vitality Plus and Vitality Light. And then you click finished again and go through from there. So nice and easy with that one. What will happen is you'll have client here, partner here, current life cover, option A, option B, option C, and then underneath your optimizer options. You can also duplicate across. So once you've created option A, you'll then be able to, instead of create optimizer, it will be like a clone quote option or a duplicate quote option. And you can also edit the current quote if you do something wrong. And then that will duplicate everything in here over to here. And then you can edit the amounts instead of creating it all brand new, as most options are just a variation of each other. Like option A could be £200,000 life, option B could be 300, and option C could be £400,000 life, for example. So you just be able to make those edits there, which speeds up the process quite a lot instead of entering individual quotes every single time. So that's quote entry. So quite a lot of change on that one compared to what we're used to doing, but in the long run, it's going to make the process so much smoother. It's going to reduce the risk of price increase, and it's going to make the checking of documents a lot easier. There'll be even less checking by the team of the FSC. So we're really going to be able to put through business a lot quicker. Like most months, we do between 800 and 1,200 applications in 1 month, and we'll be able to easily double that with this new system. So once you've done that, you will then be able to hit select quote when you're on the carryback. So you review the KTP, review the fact find, you're going through your ABCs now. Before you do this, actually, you'll be able to show and hide the options, so you can reveal them one by one to the client. So when you initially open this page up, it's going to have the current cover only, if applicable, and then you'll be able to click Show A, talk them through it, Show B, talk them through it, Show C, talk them through it, and then you'll be able to click Show Optimizer as well, and all three optimizer options will drop down and display in a similar way like this. The only difference is there'll be no comments box on the optimize, because it's the same as the one above. So you'll be able to reveal that instead of awkwardly having pieces of paper on top of pieces of paper and hiding and showing that. So that's a nice addition. So then client picks an option, they have to put their reason in. You can type what they say, or they can type it themselves, and then hit Save Selection. That then unlocks the DCF. So selection's been saved. You would then go back to the client page. Eventually it'll automatically take you through to the DCF. But for now you just have to go back in like this. Then as that loads, then you've got your DCF unlocked. So, core cover, and actually I'll go to questions real quick just to see. Yes, it will show total premium for client and partner. The Zoom is being recorded, so we're going to send it out. There's also training videos for all the non-paperless stuff already created, so signing up and that kind of thing. Cool. So core cover and serious illness cover for children. So page 2 of the paper DCF currently, you have to fill out kind of, is it Vitality Life, is it Essentials, is the sick primary comprehensive, all of that information, is it boosted, etc., optimizer or not. These 2 sections are being removed because you've already entered all that information at quote entry stage. So it's another benefit of entering the quotes in so much detail, is you don't need the core cover. As soon as they pick an option, that will put that into, that will store that ready for us at the FSC and the EVPs to check that. So you won't need that. And then same, serious illness cover for children, you put that in at the quote entry stage, so you don't have to fill that in. Along with not having to put in the name, phone number, email, address, date of birth, all of that on page 1, SOP number, all of that. You don't need to do that anymore, which again, that's like 3 pages of information you no longer need to fill in, which is fantastic because it's all double data entry, which I know it takes a lot of time, so it's going to make it real quick. So the first section is going to be smoking and alcohol. And what you're going to do is, if you're a smoker, cigarettes, alcohol, all the same questions as the paper DCF, so don't worry, I'm not going to run through every single thing, as the DCF is long enough as it is. Then you pick employed, occupation, the amount of money you make, all the army questions for everyone going around the barracks, doing policies there. You can then just tick yes or no for that. Student, unemployed, etc. Then we've got measurements. So it initially is on metric. However, if you're old school and you fill out imperial, then you can fill out the imperial there. In your summary, it will still show metric, because when you fill in imperial, it will convert across to metric, as Vitality just take the metric measurements as a standard. So you can fill in either one, it really doesn't matter, but it will convert it to metric regardless if you're pregnant or not. Then cover here. So is it mortgage related or replacing joint? Is it business protection? All the usual questions there. Family medical history. If they read this and they have that and it's relevant, click yes. You'd also have a partner button, yes or no. Then you pick which one, which relative it is. So it could be father, current age. It's currently mandatory. It will be optional, but just put if they passed away at whatever age, just put that in. They do have age of death here, so I would just put that in for now as a small workaround. They are making it an optional one, but if they have passed away, obviously they don't have a current age. So you put that in. Cancer, it does state the body part is required for that. That just really helps us when we're putting the application through, saves any hold-ups, and then you've got that information there, and you can add more if you need to. And again, the client one will appear, client and partner will appear in the list, and you'll know which one there. And then obviously I've not filled all of it out, so it will tell me what's missing. But again, you can click through each one and come back to stuff, and the tick means you've got all the information required. Traveling and hobbies, same as the paper DCF, got all that information there. Medical questionnaire, so have you got any of the following, yes or no. If you click yes on anything, and you go through to disclosure, you would then need to add a medical disclosure there, which is the same as the paper form, all the questions. So you'll need to do that. However, if you are on the medical questionnaire and it's all no, it won't let you fill in a disclosure. So you have to link a disclosure to a question. If you're unsure, seek some advice from your upline or EVP, but you just want to get the closest one possible to whatever you're disclosing. Then you've got all the diabetes, high blood pressure, the most common types of medical conditions as that we do applications for. So it's high blood pressure, mental health, skin conditions, and that's just basically got a drill down of what we do on the Vitality Advisor Hub when we at the FSC submit your business. Then we're going to doctor and clinic details. So again, postcode lookup. If it can't find the postcode for whatever reason, you can just type it in again. Doctor, surgery, phone number that they consent. So some GPs and health centres accept digital AMRAs, so electronic AMRAs. So by ticking that box, some policies, some GPs will allow that and take that. And then again, you'll have the same for partner, or there'll be a checkbox for my doctor's details are the same as the client, and then you just tick yes, and you can do that. It won't let you proceed on the next or go back if there's stuff that's not been filled in. It will make you fill stuff in. If the partner, say, has gone to get the medical, the GP's address, but you still want to continue with the bank details, you just click it on the left, but it does validate as you go through next and previous, and it will tell you what's missing. And then it'll also tell you once you completed it. So we've got the bank details. You would not be able to proceed if you did not tick the consent box, same with the doctor's details. Then bank name, sort code. So it's all validated now, so you can't actually fill in too many digits or too little digits. All account numbers have 8 digits, all sort codes have 6 digits, so you are able to just fill in the exact amount, which means your stuff won't get sent back for that. Start date, you just put that in anytime from that day that you're filling in the DCF, and you can also leave it blank if it's mortgage related, or if you don't want the policy to start until your partner, if you want them to start at the same time, you can leave that blank, and then the direct debit day of the month. It's between 1 and 28. The reason for that is the amount of days that are in every single month of the year. Some people have put in the 29th, the 30th, the 31st. You cannot do that because then that wouldn't work for some of the direct debit monthlies. So it is between 1 and 28. Then, are you the only account holder and signatory? Yes or no? No, you'd have to fill in the information there. Again, any notes, note sections in every single one. And then you've got the summary. So that will show you all the information. Again, they need to check that this is correct. They need to check this is accurate. They need to check that the client is happy with this. Make sure all the information is right. Someone's drawing on the screen again. All the information is just read only on the summary page. And then you go through in that way. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit submit. When you hit submit, the same thing's going to happen at the fact find stage. So it's going to send an email to the client. The client will then need to pull up the information and click I agree and make sure they agree to it. It will also have the direct debit guarantee in there and other information that you'll need. So we'll be able to, all the information they'll have. And then after that, you can then use that blue button I showed you earlier to invite the client to create an account on this system, and they can log in and view their FGP at any time. So that's the DCF, and the client does have to approve it. And once they do approve it, it will get sent straight to the straight to your EVP or your EVP's office manager if they have one. And then from there, once the EVP or office manager approves it, it will then get sent to the FSC. We'll do our checks, and then we will submit it on the Vitality system in the same way and communicate in the same way. One thing you'll notice, we didn't do any ID upload or any AML document. We don't have to do the AML anymore, you'll be pleased to know. We do the same search on the clients as Vitality do when people apply direct to Vitality. So all we're doing at that point is checking that they are who they say they are, so we can give them a policy. And if there is a problem with that check, it will just go to compliance. We'll look at it straight away, and then it'll be passed on to the FSC once compliance has reviewed it. But no more AML form, no more asking for passports, etc. It's all just done in the background as soon as you've hit submit. So that stage happens after you've hit the submit button and the client has clicked I agree. So that's all good. If you are nervous about any of this new system as you're going to do your first few clients, as some of you may be, you can still take the paper fact find and the paper DCF, then go home and transcribe everything onto the new system. You just have to let them know that they will need to approve it when the email gets sent to them whenever you've done filling it out and submitting. So that is an option people have asked. But this is a paperless system that you can now use. So instead of entering everything twice, you can just do it once in the room with the clients. To log in and submit information, you will need an internet connection, a personal hotspot connection, or an iPad with 3G, etc. But you can fill out the application section by section offline. You'll just need to make sure you sign in and save and submit stuff whilst you're online. The application, if you exit the DCF or fact find before you get to the end, you do need to make sure you're hitting save before you exit out of it. Otherwise, you will have to fill it out again. So it validates as you go through, but it doesn't save every section as you go. At this point, it's an enhancement that's coming. The other thing to note is your referral and Steam leads. So that is, you still take your cards for that as normal and then put them into the system. Eventually, again, we'll be enhancing the system where you just get, once the DCF submitted, it will take you to a referrals page and you can fill that information in there. But for now, it is a case of using paper, uploading it to the system, and obviously shredding those bits of information when we've uploaded it. So that is everything. I'm just going to look at the questions. Training is scheduled to finish before 11:30.
12 minutes.
Can I go to Genostar online for quote for life insurance instead of Vitality? No, you need to quote Vitality. Yes, you 100% need to quote Vitality still. Good question though. Yeah. So the way you'd upload a referral card is creating them as a client contact. When you create a client contact, it doesn't actually send the client an email or anything. So you would need to do that when you get, so it'd be once you've communicated with them, you would upload it or store it securely on your computer with a password protected spreadsheet. Speak to your upline or EVP about that, but great question. Yeah, so after you've done a carryback, there's no uploading of paper documents or anything apart from the AMRA. Yes, thanks very much, Steve. Cool. Okay, well, that is everything regarding scoops, carrybacks, signing up, IBAs, recruiting, ABCs. ABCs, there is a print version as well. So when you filled out your quotes, you'll be able to hit print my ABCs if you want to use paper for that still. But for now, or you can just do it online electronically. It's a lot cooler to do it that way. You can click show, hide, all that kind of stuff. But that is it from me. I hope this has been useful and helpful. Appreciate the amount of views. Over 250 people have been on throughout this call. So really appreciate you taking the time out of your Saturday to be trained on this and to get to grips with it. This recording will be uploaded onto the WhatsApp channels as well as onto the genistar.training site. And thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to the new system with you guys.
And thank you very much, Daniel, for your great training. And I'm sure all the guys on the call will agree to thank you, but they're all on mute, so they can't. But guys, wouldn't you agree this system is such a massive improvement of where we come from? It's just awesome. I mean, the efficiencies and the effectiveness you can see from this. I mean, Daniel, do you see a reason why we couldn't do an extra scoop or carry back a week on those time savings?
No, no reason at all. You can save easily 30 minutes to an hour per client on this new system.
I mean, that's just amazing. So guys, we're doing all we can to help you. What we need you to do this weekend is to go on the system, go practice with it. We're on the test system this weekend. You can't break it. You can't blow it up. I mean, it's there for them to break, isn't it, Daniel? And if they find any issues on that, what are they supposed to do with it? So
any issues, report them to your upline or EVP, and then the FSC team here are working over the weekend. So we're in the office 10 till 4 today and 10 till 4 tomorrow. And then from Monday morning onwards, obviously, we will be supporting you guys through your EVP. We won't be able to handle the volume of queries if everyone from the field tries to call in or email us. So if it doesn't go through the EVP, office manager, or PA, we won't be able to get back in touch with you.
Okay, right. Thank you very much, Daniel. And guys, just to wrap this up, I mean, this could be, and hopefully is going to be, the tipping point in this company. It's going to be that spark that creates the explosion to take us to the next level. And I know you're all aware that we've got Lloyd Tomer, the master recruiter of master recruiters, coming in next month from the 20th to the 21st, doing a masterclass. I mean, this is a guy that's recruited over 2 million people in his career. How many people can claim to do that? I mean, it's just awesome. With this system in place now, we're really in a lot better place to go and deliver and go get that training from Lloyd, go get firing. I mean, we're a distribution business. We're all about recruit, recruit, recruit. And let's go listen to the masters. If you haven't registered for it, please get registered, go do that. And guys, we do that, we get used to this system. You listen to your upline training, you've all got great coaches and mentors. We can go take this company to the next level and become the Primerica of the United Kingdom. Thank you very much for being on this call, and thank you very much for all your EVPs and SVPs for facilitating this as well. Thank you and goodbye.